Okay, it says we're live. Let me see over here. Ah, there we go. It's popping me in all over the place, but I can't see it. So this is this is kind of difficult because if I can't see your responses, that doesn't do me a lot of good here. The whole idea is for live video to be interactive. And look at what the quote of today is. What happens to us is not as important as how we respond. So, let me see if I have it over here. Oh, now it's showing up. Okay. Oh, it's got me in two different places. I have no idea why it's going in two different places. Okay, so if you can share the broadcast, because what happens is when I'm on my personal page, I have a special software program that will share the video everywhere. And when I'm over on my professional page, I don't have that same capability. So if you can, let me see, I've got two different computers going here. I got the one that I'm broadcasting from, and then I have the other one. And it's not letting me post. And check this out. Can you see this? Let me change cameras here. I have, when I put my makeup on this morning, for some reason, this eye doesn't want to have any makeup on. So all morning long, I've just been, for the past hour, I've had just a tear rolling down my face randomly all morning long. So I'm not crying. My eyes are just watering. And it's not letting me share my own video. So can you hear me? And the fact that I can barely even see comments is not going to help me very much, is it? There we go. All right, I got Shirley. Yay! Thanks, Shirley. Okay, so Shirley can hear me. That's a good thing. And it looks like I've got... See, I've not done it on this one before, so let me see if it'll let me share this. Okay, we've got some shares, so that's good at least. And now I can see your comments. There's Gracie. Hey, good, you made it. All right, good. So this is good. So this is just different. We're over here now, so that's fine. Anyway, so how are you this morning? Do you have your coffee? I actually poured myself a cup of coffee this morning. I can only have coffee because of all the treatments I do for the breast cancer. And today, this month, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I think I got, after yesterday morning's broadcast, what we were on for 32 minutes, I think the recording was. And I also put it over on YouTube. And I edited out the first 6 minutes that we were trying to figure out the audio. But I spent 2 hours answering emails, private messages, and I think as of yesterday it had 1,000 views when I went to bed last night. So evidently this is something that, hey Vicki, oh Julie, good. Oh, thank you for asking, because yeah, I have had a really bad month this past month actually, and yeah, it really, I've been very, very sick, very sick. So I appreciate the prayers. I appreciate you asking, because it has been a rough month. So let me see if I can. Wow, this is kind of weird how this is set up. I can't. I had to broadcast live from my laptop. See, there goes that tear again. I had to broadcast live from my laptop. And my desktop over here is where I'm looking at comments. So that's why I keep going back and forth. But I'm trying to get this live picture out of the way, and it won't move because it would be really nice if I could see, you know, on this computer as opposed to this computer over here. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to lower my streaming quality. I was going to do that for this morning's. I am on Ethernet this time, but I was going to lower my streaming quality so that it would be grainier, but it wouldn't, because I just saw it pause over here in this other window. So anyway, let's go back to the quote of the day. Today's quote is, what happens to us is not as important as how we there should be a P in that, respond. I changed it at the last second. Excuse me. Actually, what was going to be the quote for the day was a different one. And at the very last second, I changed it to this one. So what happens to us? I guess this morning was supposed to be all about me being humbled, eh? So what does this mean to you? What happens to us is not as important to how we respond. Because quite often, my first response is not the best response. Yeah, I haven't been well, Vicki. Thank you. I know why, though. My doctor said when I flew to Nashville to work with Michael Hyatt, not really work with him, I did a testimonial for the Free to Focus productivity program that literally saved my life. You can't get it now. It was open for enrollment for a couple of weeks and then they closed it. But literally, the Free to Focus program saved my life. I don't know, is this going to, let me look and see if, no, it's not showing the, doggone, it's not showing the, it was supposed to show on the GoFundMe page. So, all right, let me do it this way. You're going to kind of see this, but the GoFundMe page was up and went through, you should be able to see this. The GoFundMe page went up and you can see we got, in 2 months, we raised $14,000, which is amazing. And I've used almost all of that for my breast cancer treatments because we're doing alternative therapy. But as you can see down here, it kind of tells the story. And there's a video. I did an update last month and I really needed, I was going to record a video yesterday to update this month. And then I ended up answering emails. So this goes through what I was going through and my mom's surgery. She had cancer earlier in the year. Then I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Then I had a heart attack. Then my father-in-law passed away. Then I got a staph infection in my eyes. Isn't that nasty? So anyway, so I have not been able to drink. And if you know me, you know that I do love a glass of wine with dinner. And I wasn't able to do that. So when I went to Nashville, the doctor told me, go ahead and have some wine and celebrate. Well, little did I know that the effects of that alcohol kind of mixed with my body and some of the treatments I was doing. And we didn't realize it was going to do that at the time, but it made me very, very sick and really messed up my liver. And so this past month I have been, for a solid week, I was very, very sick. Yeah, I do have a tablet. Actually, it's over there charging. That's a really good idea, Gracie. I could put the tablet right here below the laptop because the laptop's up on a stack of books, very precariously, I might add. And that would probably be a really good idea. Hi, Sarah. A little bit of foundation and blush yesterday. Good for you. Felt more confident through the day. Yeah, it really doesn't take that long, does it? I think we kind of trick ourselves into thinking that, doing a makeup job is going to take a long time, and it really, really doesn't. We can really get it done in a quick amount of time. And this morning I had trouble with lipstick too. It wouldn't stay on. I'm like, okay, whatever. Literally everything. Monday morning we couldn't even get on air, and then yesterday we got the Facebook Live to work, and it went pretty well, I thought, considering it was our very first time we had to struggle with the audio. By the way, I'm using a microphone today, so hopefully you can hear me better. Because I went back and listened to the recording from yesterday, and the sound was so tinny. It was horrific. So hopefully it's sounding better today. Maybe I tilted these too much. So anyway, what was I talking about? I don't even remember. Putting makeup on, because Sarah said she got a coat of makeup on. So good for you. I'm very proud of you. So anyway, back to the quote of the day. How do you respond? I do this when I'm do conferences. I always use this analogy. And I pull somebody up on stage and do it. And I hear my husband in the kitchen, and maybe he'll come in just in time to hold up his hand. No. Okay. So anyway, I do this analogy. I bring somebody up on stage and I hold up my hand. I say, hold up your hand. And they hold up their hand. And I put my hand on their hand and I push. 98% of the time, people will push back. 98% of the time. Rarely. I think it's happened twice in 15 years that I've been doing this. that somebody won't push back. Oh, here's the other thing. I forgot to put my earrings on. Do you care? I don't. But they're sitting right here. That is normally our first response. When someone pushes us, our normal tendency is to defend. If someone is a mom, if someone messes with our children, what's our normal response? Kill, kind of, right? To really go after somebody. So our normal first response is normally defense. So taking two things. Take yesterday. Yesterday, I got a lot of advice about what I did wrong. Kind of when I started doing webinars last year. And remember the cats? If you guys watched a lot of my webinars last year, the cats would be like crawling on the sofa in the back, or they would run into the room. I have the door closed, and one of them pushed something underneath the door and is reaching under the door. But a lot of people are still asleep. So I spent, look at this, they're off kilter. There we go. I spent a lot of time yesterday answering emails about everything that I did wrong. Then the other thing, and see, this is part of the reason, and Deborah McClure, if you're watching on the replay, I said, I haven't done an update in a long time, and there's a good reason for that. And she said, you don't trust us. I said, well, no, it's not that. Actually, what it was is that part of the reason I didn't want to come out about the breast cancer was that I knew I would get a lot of unsolicited advice. But some of the comments I received were so nasty. I got comments like, my favorite nasty comment, ever seen that they do, I forget what late night talk show host does this. They have celebrities read mean tweets. That's what I should do. I should do mean emails that I got about my cancer. One of the emails I got was, I was so vain. Good morning, Victoria. Yay. I'm glad you're here. Do you have your coffee, tea, or smoothie? I should do a freeze frame of that. I was looking for a time card yesterday. There you go. That's what vanity does to you. You drop your microphone. Sorry. I should do mean tweets and read off the mean emails I got. So one of the emails I got one of the emails that I got when I came out about my cancer and the fact that I was treating it with holistic means and natural methods and that kind of stuff, was that I was so vain. Colleen, you are so vain and conceited that you don't want to do chemo because you're afraid your hair will drop out. Literally. And then it went on. It was one of those super long, emails, which I ended up not reading the rest of it. And it was at that point that I stopped taking emails, or I stopped reading the emails. So if people sent me like positive, supportive emails, I don't think I got them. But wow, that really, seriously, you think, and you don't even know me. I didn't even know this person. But evidently that's what they think of me, that they think that the only reason I didn't do chemo and radiation is because I'm just so conceited I was afraid my hair would fall out. I could care less. I mean, if I want to talk about saving my life and being around for the rest of, to be with my children or losing my hair, that's not why I chose natural methods. So yeah, we absolutely go Mama Bear. I'm sorry. I'm like I said, it's a delay. Plus I'm over here talking. So my first response to that was to fire off an angry reply. Who the heck do you think you are? To send me an email like that. You don't even know me and you're going to email me and insult me when I'm going through cancer and I'm struggling to stay alive, to be around for my family and my children. So that was probably my favorite mean email. A lot of people saying that I was, selfish. There was a lot of selfishness in there, and there was a lot of emails about how stupid I was, and that type of thing. When my parents got older, when they started getting in their 50s and 60s, and I'm 54, they say a woman who will tell you her age will tell you anything, so ask. And so back when they were in their 50s and 60s, I started doing a lot of research about cancer because I wanted to be aware for if they ever got cancer, which my dad did and then my mom did, that I would want to know what treatment options were available. So that's what I did back then. So I've been researching what to do about cancer for a very long time. my husband had a bout with bone cancer that we treated naturally very successfully, and it took about a year, which is what we're looking at for my breast cancer as well. So I had been researching this for a very long time, so that when out of the blue I was diagnosed with cancer, I had already researched a lot of the alkaline diets and the foods that we should eat, because we did it with my husband. I had researched Mary Gates, if you know her, she does iridology. Which is actually how we found my husband's. So we had researched a lot of the natural methods. You looked into Gerson, and then when it's hard to believe, Gracie, I know that people can be that cruel, but seriously, mean emails. When you're trying to stay positive and focused, and you're reading, and then even though I had been researching this for years, people would email me with doubts, and then doubt started creeping into my mind, and it was like totally the devil. So it was shocking to me that people who didn't even know me could write me such mean emails. But people exist like that, yeah. So, and a lot of the emails I did get yesterday were about what I'm doing, and I don't really like to get into details because some of the mean emails that I got said that I was leading people astray. And part of what I don't want people to do is to get a diagnosis and go, I'm just going to do what Colleen did. I think there's 18, I don't know how many different types of breast cancer. There's oodles of different type of breast cancer. So you've got like a hormonal breast cancer that's going to respond differently to different types of cancers. So yeah, my husband was helping me filter actually after that. And because I had hired a social media gal and I had hired a personal assistant, the social media gal dropped. I couldn't afford to pay her anymore because the money's going into my cancer treatments. The personal assistant stayed around for about a month, and then she worked for free, and then she got another job. So my husband was helping me with some of those things. People are texting me. I actually have my phone up here. It's got a light on it, so I have my phone up here. And so people are texting me, and I'm kind of looking at stop texting me. So a first response is always something for me, especially as a cleric, if you know anything about the temperaments. First response is normally going to be to push back. So what's your first response? What do you normally respond? Like I think it was Gracie said, we go mama bear when somebody goes after our children. But when you get a mean email, Wendy Sikorsky isn't around this morning. She was on yesterday morning. But Wendy runs an apostolate, and she's got like 8 million gazillion followers, right? So she gets these mean emails as well. And our first response is normally like, what the heck, and who do you think you are? And how dare you say this? And that type of thing. And one of the things that when I was in Nashville with Michael Hyatt, he took us all out to dinner. Just if you're not familiar with Michael Hyatt, just go check out his website. He's got amazing things for everybody. But one of the things we talked about is how we respond, because when they tell you to don't feed the trolls. So when people are trolling you and making nasty comments, I used to try to be nice and try to respond, and they just don't understand. If I explain myself to them, they'll understand. No, doesn't work. So you don't feed the trolls, and it's and you're not going to change their mind. When people really don't like you, there's nothing really that you can say that's going to change their mind. So don't feed into their hate, because a lot of times they're doing it just for attention. But how you respond publicly is really about your character. So it's the same thing if somebody comes up to you at church, and you're standing around having coffee and donuts afterwards, and someone comes up to you afterwards and makes a nasty comment, or, it usually ends up happening in the parking lot. Everyone seems to be super Christian in church, and then when you get out in the parking lot, people turned into a different beast when they're behind the wheel. I haven't figured out how to balance these glasses. Remember yesterday I said, the trick is to put them up here. This keeps falling. Okay. Oh, that's why. I have a magazine underneath it to kind of hold it, and the magazine is off the edge of the desk, and I didn't realize that. Okay. You know what? Now I'm concerned that I have it underneath the microphone's underneath the laptop. So, anyway, so that's the quote for today. Is what happens to us isn't as important as how we respond. Without a P, unfortunately. Hey, look at that picture. You can see more of my floor. Oh, you can almost see the junk that's piled over there in the corner. Maybe I'll scoot over. And you can see my shopping bag over there. So anyway, if you're not following me, here's my different places where I am. Next week, we're going to be going live on Periscope. And as soon as we get this whole thing figured out over here with Facebook Live, then we'll be going live on Facebook. So pretty much everything is Colleen M. Hammond. Now this one right here is Colleen.Hammond. That's my personal page. And then tomorrow I'll remember to lower the bandwidth. Also, I probably either tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to be using a different camera because I found that this camera is really out of focus. And a matter of fact, it kind of looked like the books behind me were in focus as opposed to my face yesterday. So I'll be using a different one. So any other suggestions on topics? In the mornings, I'm going to be doing this coffee chat where we have a cup of coffee, tea, or smoothie and talk about the quote of the day and think about how are we going to respond. And there goes that tear again. How are we going to respond? How are we going to respond today when people or children, or when you spell something wrong on a graphic that goes out to thousands of people, or when you try to log into Facebook and it gives you the message, I'm sorry, Facebook is not allowing anyone to go live at the moment. Or when you drop your microphone, or when your eye is watering while you're on camera live, or let me see, what else? Anyway, just how do you choose to respond? How will you choose to respond today? Because one of those things that I made the mistake, quote unquote, of doing was praying for humility. And it always seems that when you pray for humility, God sends you practice. So I've been getting lots of practice lately. And so that's how I choose to look at it, is these are my practice times. And maybe these glasses are better. So anyway, so tomorrow morning we will have a different quote of the day. I will see if I can figure out something different with Facebook Live, where I can find out maybe they just had a flood of people that were trying to go live at that moment, or what was going on. I'm not sure. So we will figure it out. And oh, I put different glasses on. Did you notice? See, these are different. They've got the little gold on them. And we'll try to do something different. So I'm waiting for comments to come in over here for suggestions. So anyway, continue to make suggestions after we go off of what, because I'll do these in the morning and then later in the afternoon or in the evening. Remember, I used to do webinars on Tuesday night, either later in the afternoon or maybe I'll start doing webinars again in the evening. I'd like to start talking about just different tips of, like, at night, laying out your clothes. And I talked about, and Sarah did it, yes, just putting on a touch of makeup and just little tips like that. Or we can do tips in the morning. We might do tips in the afternoon, might do tips in the evening. I'm not quite sure. But the new website is supposed to roll out next week. And I will give you a sneak peek on Friday when we go live on Friday. So anyway, thank you for joining me this morning. I figured out how to get out of here. It was pretty funny because I hit the stop stream and I thought it was going to stop stream, and it really didn't. Actually, it stopped streaming, but it kept recording. So I was sitting here for 5 minutes looking at me being recorded. But what happens is the studio program continues to record me as it continued, like it saved the full half hour. So I went back. Oh, it was funny. It was funny. So anyway, these will be uploaded onto YouTube, and they'll also be available. I'll share it over on my regular Facebook page, and continue to give me suggestions below. What would you like to see me talk about? What do you want to do in these mornings? I'm trying to keep them to half an hour. So that we can get on with our day. But I just like to sit and talk with my girlfriends in the morning, and sometimes it's a nice thing to do. Oh, and Facebook is going to do a thing where we'll actually be able to talk to each other. And if you have Skype, I can actually do it already, where you can actually call into Skype, and I can do a split screen, and then we can like take questions and talk to each other. So anyway, I'm going to head out. I hear them making breakfast down in the kitchen. I'm going to go have some breakfast with my family. It sounds like Dennis is making some eggs for us. So I appreciate you being here and sharing a cup of coffee with me this morning. And I will see you tomorrow morning as well. All right, take care. Have a very blessed day. And remember today's quote. It's not what happens to us. What's more important is how we respond. All right. God bless you. We'll see you. Bye now.